know. But yeah, it's a classic. We definitely have a very exciting match incoming. We already had one in winners finals, and we're off.
I actually don't know who like wins usually.
It's a toss-up, honestly.
Are we shooting predictions for this one?
Oh yeah, those aren't live yet. Yeah.
We go for that.
Okay, we have Neko doing his thing of
F-spin first.
blowing up. It happens. This is the cost of being a Giga Strider like Neko. Because, you know, when he doesn't blow himself up, he gets to do these 4 PPS opens like it's nothing, with fins thrown in there for good measure, I guess. And S-spin triples, you know, the whole shebang.
Yeah,
DOREMY,
and DOREMY with his pushing his great all-spin.
TT cannon thrown in there. Ooh, Neko has some pretty bad cheese, but, you know, as a Strider privilege, gets through it without much of a problem.
And that's
Finds
easily.
some weird-ass all-spin I've never seen. Some nicely spin doubles.
That was a good secret train from Neko.
Yeah, very nice. DOREMY, ooh, gets caught just at the wrong moment there. Had a pretty easy out there, but was just a little bit too slow. Caught just without the eyepiece in Q, and we're even.
Already starting off pretty fast.
Yeah, extended SCPC, I think that was. You know, I'm not that much of a fan, but it's pretty good when you have the speed to back it up. Neko, both players with some very clean welds, but ooh, DOREMY just doesn't get to it quite in time, and Neko takes an early lead here.
DOREMY has to catch up to the speed of Neko right now. Neko's going pretty fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Neko does always have a very sizable speed advantage in this matchup, but of course, DOREMY is well known to be a very resourceful player, able to definitely, you know, send a lot of cheese with his very good back-to-back vision. I mean, he doesn't have all those achievements for nothing, but you know, at the end of the day, being able to place more pieces than your opponent is a very big advantage. Though Neko doesn't manage to convert it this round, and DOREMY
That's true. Although they both kept up a good surge for that one.
For sure. DOREMY, bit of an awkward stack there, just doesn't have the right pieces to make that floating T-spin happen, and Neko retakes the lead.
Sorry, I'm just getting set up. I'm just getting in the room.
Yeah. Neko opening with some 7 PPS 6-3, promptly misdrops, which, you know, makes sense. Can't blame him for that one. But now he's in a pretty clean spot. DOREMY also with some back-to-back, but a fairly awkward parry to down stack, forced to break surge.
Oh, he's really surging last moment.
Yeah.
Neko
Cool.
still survives that one though.
Does send Neko up quite a bit, but not enough to put him in any serious danger. DOREMY doesn't manage to get out though. Pretty neutral spot right here.
Pretty nice transfer to TFT from Neko there.
Yeah, it was very clean. Oh, DOREMY with a very annoying S-piece misdrop. Manages to mostly clean it up, but does lose some momentum for it, and has to make some bad concessions for his stack, but gets out.
Yeah, that was very clean from DOREMY there, the down stack.
Yeah, very good vision. It was a bit scary for a moment, but he ends up being fine. Neko in a tight spot, but DOREMY doesn't have the lines to send right now.
Ooh, Neko with that survival! Okay.
Yeah. DOREMY too. DOREMY was in a very tough spot here as well. A bit slower and he's dead, but doesn't manage to get out.
It's actually surprisingly close. Actually, unsurprisingly, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that I am not surprised. Oh, Neko, very awkward stack, misdropping a lot. DOREMY manages to break surge there and punish Neko for, you know, doing what he does sometimes. I know
DOREMY
how
with
it
that
feels.
floating stack though.
Neko once again misdropping the TKI, but finds a decently nice all spin to clear up very nicely, and is now in just very clean 6-3. Some good all spins to keep us back-to-back here. Both players very clean boards. Neko breaks Surge first. DOREMY with some cheese, but also some, well, no Surge anymore, but...
Yeah, both players having a lot of cheese on their board, trying to go through that.
Yeah. And DOREMY gets through it first, and Neko... that's... I would have loved to see that survival work out, but DOREMY just has a bit too much on his board there, so Neko does not get away with that.
Yeah, DOREMY already had a 7 Surge built up by the end.
Which is probably fair, but also that survival would have been very cool. Neko taking a bunch of skims here. Small 19 spike, nothing much. DOREMY with a very big spike lined up though, but Neko's board is just a bit too clean for it to do much of anything, though it's not as clean anymore.
And DOREMY is going at it, Surge spam.
Yeah, oh, greedy DT cannon. Won't be a DOREMY set without one, and breaks Surge for a 40 spike. Neko manages to almost get through it, but the follow-up pressure from DOREMY is just a bit too much. Yeah, that 40 spike on his own, Neko would have been fine, but yeah, DOREMY manages to keep up the pressure just enough to close out the round and take the lead back. Both players very clean again. Neko with a nice C-spin triple that leaves this board in a pretty awkward spot, but he manages to deal with it just fine. DOREMY up high, but in a pretty clean board state, so not too much of an issue, though the parity is not pretty. He's out though.
Neko with that funny setup there.
Yeah. DOREMY also had a very nice all spin, which, you know, I'll admit I wouldn't have seen that one.
DOREMY trying to keep up, cleverly trying to keep up that Surge.
Neko manages to cancel it all though, but the follow-up combo spike is maybe not as easy to deal with. And Neko manages to get to the clean wall that gave him, and DOREMY with a weird J piece there on his board.
Oh, what a misdrop fix there from DOREMY.
I didn't even know if that was a misdrop. I think it was, but like...
That looks like one, definitely.
Yeah. Neko has a Surge advantage, and DOREMY's board is not looking pretty, so...
Yeah, DOREMY's gonna have to go fast for this one.
Yeah. Neko, yeah, 19 Surge here, and no intention of stopping. Great Surge, but DOREMY...
Actually surviving that.
Survive is a big word for now, but no, he's out. He's out, wow. And Neko just waiting a bit too long to break that Surge, and most importantly, broke the Surge unsupported, which is often a pretty... can be a pretty big mistake when you're trying to use the Surge to kill, because oftentimes the way you can usually survive the 20 spike from a decently big Surge, but it puts your board into a pretty bad spot, and if you're able to follow up with like a, you know, another like 10 send, a D-spin double, a Tetris, whatever, that can often like actually secure the kill, and Neko unable to do that here, which means DOREMY gets out. Or, well, got out of that spike before, but now he's in a bad spot again with a really rough misdrop.
Neko transferred that into his T. But yeah, definitely like breaking Surge is mostly like as a last resort or to kill the other person.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, Neko does manage to bring home that round. 242, that's a very long round. That's
pressuring DOREMY into that loss.
Yeah. Neko doing, I think that's F-spin? I don't actually know, but you know, it's complete nonsense that resolves completely fine, so I think that would have to be F-spin.
At 5 PPS, of course.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, honestly, like, is it even F spin if it's at less than 5 PPS? Like, let's be real here. I don't think so.
DOREMY's PPS comparatively chilling, even though it's at 3.3 PPS.
Yeah. Oh, that misdrop manages to find a very slick donation to patch that board up, but
also Neko fixing that board up.
Both players with some small surge. DOREMY breaks, so Neko now has the surge advantage, but DOREMY has a pretty clean board to be able to pressure to cancel, but misdrops and does not find his way out there.
A great LSC from Neko there.
Yeah, 1 APP from Neko as well at 4 PPS, which is very impressive.
For a full minute, that's actually messed up.
Especially as the faster player in a match. It's a lot more difficult to get a very high APP number, but...
Oh yeah.
Neko showing us that he is not entirely clutching on his speed.
It's crazy that he actually kept up 1 APP.
Yeah,
PPS, and DOREMY still survived.
Yeah, very impressive. Yeah, DOREMY's survival is definitely very, very strong, I think. I mean, doesn't mean that a spike game is anything to scoff at on this one. Neko in a very cheesy board. DOREMY, on the other hand, is able to put up some pressure with all spin, so... Okay, I'm not even going to comment. I don't know what that is. DOREMY is cooking something. But, you know, maybe he overcooked it because Neko has managed to get out.
Both players have managed to get out here.
Yeah, Neko in another tough spot, but DOREMY doesn't really have anything to send right now besides his small-ish surge.
At this point, it's hard to tell which player has the lead.
Yeah. Neko caught at a very awkward moment with no TPs in queue, no combo in sight, and despite the pretty clean board, DOREMY manages to tie it up once again. DOREMY opening here with a pretty big spike and a, well, not quite T-spin triple.
Yeah, a little rough there, but able to fix it. Neko still has a bad board, a pretty bad board.
Yeah, manages to get some cheese out of it though and cleans it up pretty nicely. DOREMY's small surge advantage, but Neko also working to build it up. DOREMY breaks first, and Neko is now in some pretty clean stacking territory, and yeah, you know, once he gets going on that,
for Neko.
DOREMY tried to go for an STSD there, forced to find whatever the hell that was. You know, somehow has a clean board still and a bit of surge. Well, Comms curse. DOREMY, never mind. DOREMY's board is clean once more. I'm not even. Should I shut up? I don't. I'm gonna give up.
Okay, DOREMY picking up the pace again. Another DT
cannon, yeah. There we go. Some pretty nice pressure, even despite being in a 9-0 stack. Neko finds a good combo to get out of it, though. Forced to make some skims here to even out his board a bit. It's fine now though. Neko finds a Finn. Wow. Very, very cool stuff.
DOREMY finds a
big spike and yeah, finds a big spike, and Neko is forced to waste his IPs just a bit too early and can't get to his well in time. Great players going whatever that was. I mean, I'm not gonna be fake humble and say that I'm not a good player, but I'm really not that good at all spins. And DOREMY is like probably among the best all spinners in the game at this point. So like, I mean, the DT I figured out. But yeah.
Yeah, both players have their strengths. In this case, DOREMY pretty DT.
Yeah. I mean, I said this before, I think. There's a reason why they called the all-spin achievements Magician. Yeah, like, it makes sense. DOREMY is in the lead now, though, and has a pretty clean well. Sends an 11 spike, which does exactly nothing. Ooh, DOREMY in a bad board now. Forced to put up a pretty awkward eye dependency, manages to solve it. Echo breaks Surge, DOREMY just barely able to cancel here.
Yeah, DOREMY's still trying to recover here from that position.
Pretty cheesy board, but manages to find a combo to even it out. Now some clean 7-2.
Both players still trying to deal with both each other's garbage.
Yeah. DOREMY manages to get through first, it seems, and is now working to build up some Surge, but Neko's Surge is, well, DOREMY breaks first, and now Neko has a pretty big Surge advantage while in ST.
Ooh.
It's just a bit too much for DOREMY to handle. And we're even again at 8-8. Will we see a deuce?
Get your predictions up, chat. I wonder why this same matchup keeps happening, keeps having the same result over and over.
DOREMY with a 9 combo with a Tetris in there. Neko able to just fend it off pretty nicely, but DOREMY still with a better position. Well, not anymore, I guess. This round is interesting because DOREMY is going pretty fast for his average and Neko is going pretty slow, which means that PPS is, you know, it's not even, but it's about as close as you're going to get from this matchup, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
DOREMY deliberately tanking, going up very high on his board to also send Neko up, and now using those resources to maybe get down, maybe try and get a kill. Neko's board looking a bit rough there, so maybe... I don't know, he manages to patch it up before DOREMY finds a lethal spike here. And we are back to a pretty neutral position. DOREMY sends a pretty big spike.
DOREMY pressuring him really hard there.
Yeah, Neko just forced to break his board up just a bit too much. Just a bit too much and can't handle with the follow-up. Oh no, Neko, very awkward misdrop here.
Some early game still.
Yeah, DOREMY doesn't have anything to really punish with that, so Neko gets out, even though he made a follow-up misdrop. DOREMY has used the time to create a small surge, which he sends off. Neko is able to handle it just fine, though. And back to a pretty neutral spot, though. DOREMY has some very nice 6-3 going here, which he intends to use.
Yeah, Neko was pretty rough stacking this round.
Yeah, but of course the issue is if your spike doesn't kill, your enemy has some pretty nice clean to work with. So Neko now able to put some pressure on DOREMY, but DOREMY also able to handle it pretty fine, though he is forced to break Surge again.
It's hard to tell which player has the edge.
I mean, it changes around a lot. Right now, well, it was Neko, now it's DOREMY. Neko forced to make some very bad skins, and the pieces just shake out in a very bad way. Not able to cancel on time.
No way, a 2-round difference.
Yeah, might be the first time we've seen that. It probably isn't, but like, it's close. Definitely a very intense match here. Neko breaking out the trusted stride ST stacking. Finds an STSZ. DOREMY has an STSZ on his board as well, though. Neko breaks first. DOREMY forced to awkwardly break to cancel, and Neko has the follow-up to bring it to 9-10. So Neko wins this. We go to deuce.
Back to 1-0.
Oh, Neko with a bad misdrop, though, so maybe we won't get to see the deuce after all. Never mind. He's fine.
Yep.
And now Neko, when his opponent is at match point, he has this, I mean, from my perspective, rather annoying property that he just speeds the hell up. And unfortunately for me, it works out more often than not, which, you know, he doesn't... He's holding some pretty solid 4 PPS. Was at 4.5 for a while earlier there, I think.
Oh yeah, he has to keep up with the pace. DOREMY has lots of surge built up.
Yeah.
I mean, he had lots of surge built up, so.
Yeah. Oh.
And DOREMY out pressures Neko. GG's.
Big break. Yeah, nerves are definitely real, but it works out pretty well. Wow, some very strong stats here. 185 APM, 3.26 PPS from DOREMY. That's like pretty damn close to 1 APP, which is very impressive. Neko a lot less efficient, but you know, not doing much worse on the other stat fronts. So very impressive match here. Very exciting. We have a bracket reset.
Yeah, both players today with some really nice spins, I gotta say.
Yeah, very exciting match. Very close. I mean, it's what you're hoping for in a grand final. No, neither player wants any break. They're just going right back in. Well, go true finals.
They're both warmed up.
They're both warmed up. I mean, yeah, you would hope. Neko with a nice Imperial cross to open.
Okay, Neko keeping up that surge. Pretty clean.
No,
Never
Neko
mind.
breaks surge first though, and now DOREMY has a surge advantage, but is up kinda high on his board. Forced to break without much to send. Oh, a very rough eyepiece misdrop for DOREMY. Oh, but Neko gets caught with an even worse misdrop. And DOREMY manages to snatch it despite that eyepiece. Neko, maybe nerves coming in a bit here as he misdrops his TKI here. Of course, not that big of an issue, especially in the early game, but...
Yeah, maybe we'll see him slow down in this one.
DOREMY does fire back with a misdrop though, and this one has the potential to be a lot more dangerous. Neko doesn't manage to capitalize though, and is now in a pretty bad spot himself. Gets out though.
Pretty hard position for Neko right here.
Yeah, a lot of
DOREMY
cheese from DOREMY's big combo here. That misdrop earlier probably didn't help. Now Neko is on the defensive, which means DOREMY probably gets to build up some decently nice surge, which he is doing right now. Well, Neko, big spike. DOREMY tanks it and then sends back, and
DOREMY break surge, but
yeah, Neko absolutely no resources to deal with that, and DOREMY takes an early lead. Oh god, it keeps getting worse. Neko maybe should have taken a break. I mean, maybe not. Maybe that just makes it worse. But like, that was not pretty. DOREMY finding a very nice floating T-spin there. Has some nice surge. Doesn't find a way to continue it though. Neko in a rough
We're gonna
spot.
see a 3-round difference. Okay, a 3-round difference. Man!
Wow. Never before seen. Wow. Incredible.
What the fuck? What the hell? Oh, Neko ended actually starting with SDPC this time.
Yeah. Continuing on, but not finding a follow-up PC. But, you know, he will wipe his tears with some, you know, 6-3 for a moment, forced to get out of it, though. DOREMY very high up, but manages to be fine, finds a bounce stack, and is now at the bottom of his board again. Neko's board is very clean, though.
Both players at pretty similar speeds right now.
Yeah, DOREMY is playing very fast for this set. Might also be a product of nerves. Though it doesn't look like his efficiency is suffering much for it. Yeah, finding some very nice T-spins. Neko in a very awkward spot with parry. He doesn't have the T-piece to fix up his board and cannot get the I-piece to the well in time.
I wonder, is this a matter of surge? How about like one of the players keeps up the surge for more than 7 and we see the results?
Maybe. Oh, Neko with another misdrop. I fear he might be melting down here, and if he doesn't recover soon, this might be a lot less close than the last set. We'll see.
Yeah, this is pretty important lead for DOREMY here.
Yeah. Definitely seen Neko bounce back before, but I have also seen him not bounce back out of these spots, so we'll see how it goes. But for now, he seems to be doing okay.
I have to point out DOREMY's all clear at the start. That was actually crazy.
Yeah, DOREMY going pretty greedy, but just not greedy enough for Neko to find a punish here. Neko, another T-piece misdrop, manages to get a combo out of it though. And is back to a pretty clean board state. It's just he's focusing a bit too hard on down stacks though, I feel.
Yeah, maybe more in a defensive position than earlier.
Ooh, TST without a backboard to kick it off. Manages to fix it up though. DOREMY pretty high up, but also has some surge, so this might end up being more dangerous for... Never mind! Just gets caught, I guess. Unlucky.
DOREMY also could afford to go a little slower that round, so...
Another TK. Oh, never. Actually, that might actually be intended. I don't know what kind of openers Neko does. It looked misdroppy, but like, I don't claim to know. Oh, that's a misdrop. That one's a misdrop. Neko forced to waste T here with a board that would really like some Ts. Doesn't get to them in time, and
a little too T dependent.
Yeah. Caused, unfortunately, by T-piece misdrops, which happens annoyingly often. It makes sense geometrically, but doesn't make it less annoying. Neko in his home turf, able to just completely stride out some nice pressure from ST, but DOREMY able to handle it mostly fine, but you know, there's only so much you can do when Neko keeps up this pressure. Yeah, mostly fine. Mostly fine. Until he wasn't. I think misdropping his SDPC here. DOREMY also misdropping his MS2 though. That Neko has a pretty big advantage starting off this round. DOREMY trying to fix up his stack and finds it, though he was forced to slow down a bit, but...
Yeah, actually, DOREMY noticeably going a lot slower since he got that 5-point advantage.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, DOREMY is definitely finding a lot of outs, but he is also just really good at down stacking. It's definitely not a coincidence. Is he good enough at down stacking for this? I mean, if Neko lets him out, then sure, I guess. Ooh, DOREMY going for a pretty greedy STSD, forced to abort it after taking just one of the TSDs. But ends up getting out of it just fine, mostly. Neko has some spikes, but Doremy's board just has too many combos for it to actually be dangerous. And Doremy in a position to build up a big surge, and Neko unable to cancel. And it's getting pretty dangerously close for Neko, so he really needs to catch himself very soon. Not like that, though. Yeah, pro tip, don't do that. Like, Neko
My bad, I'm
finds an out. No worries. Neko finds an out, Doremy doesn't, and, well... Yeah, definitely. Yeah, pro tip, don't do that. I mean, it's true. Matt with some analysis, which is definitely true, yeah. And the way Neko beats Doremy here is definitely to just outspam pressure and hope, because Doremy is just very good at macro, but you know, having to force yourself to play fast can very often end in disaster, especially if you have to stride for a long time. It's very difficult to keep up sustainably. It just gets exhausting both physically and mentally, and I think we may be noticing the consequences of the strain here.
Yeah, that's why Plonkers never run out of stamina.
Yeah, for sure. Doremy, 11 surge. Neko, awkward board. Manages to make the right concessions to get out, but Doremy's still with an advantage for now. Building up a surge, very clean 6-3. Neko's board in the spot to handle pretty much anything Doremy throws at him, though. So Doremy breaks, and we are back to neutral. Neko with an advantage. Now Doremy in a kind of rough spot, but digs
Neko
himself
building
out.
up that surge.
Yeah,
7
Doremy,
surge, of course.
Yeah, Doremy gets out down to a well, though. Has a weird eye dependency for a bit, but also manages to fix that. A lot of clean being thrown around from both sides right now, making this round very, very swingy. Pretty neutral right now, though. Doremy gets sent up.
Pretty sizable garbage there from Doremy.
Oh, dies by 1 line, I'm pretty sure. Wow. If Doremy lived
Neko
that,
trying to make up the difference.
Yeah, Doremy was 1 line off of living that, so definitely very close. Another TKI missed drop. Damn. Wonder, I mean, I haven't looked that much at if Doremy's playing differently, but it definitely feels like Neko is, you know, is misdropping a lot more, being a lot shakier. Might be nerves from the previous set, you know, might also just be lost momentum from not winning the first set, which is a pretty big deal, honestly.
Yeah, but
especially,
yeah, but like he's
definitely cooking right now.
Yeah.
Doremy with a makeshift 4-wide, able to get out just barely. Neko just not able to follow it up well enough to get the kill here.
Yeah, when he's not shaky, he's pretty fast.
Oh, I mean, he's fast when he's shaky. It's just that his board explodes every 5 seconds. He's honestly even faster when he's shaky, I found. Again, it's just we get some more modern art when he's shaky.
Okay, DOREMY, please keep that up for more than 7. Okay, 10.
Okay,
okay.
10. Neko misdrops at the worst time, and Doremy's pressure is just enough to bring it to match point.
This might actually be a chat.
This
okay, what?
might be it. Well, Neko disagrees. If nothing else, he wants to go out with a bang, but you know.
DOREMY can afford a few rounds now. He can take a break.
Yeah, Doremy can, you know, fall asleep until it's like 10-10 or something like that. That'd be hype. He doesn't do that, damn.
Okay.
You know,
I barely noticed that round.
Honestly, those last 2 rounds is a pretty apt summary of what it can feel like to play Neko. Because 1 round, he absolutely explodes you and you die, and then the next round, he just doesn't feel like it. And
yeah,
you
Next round
know,
he destroys himself.
it happens. Oh, we have some UI issues on stream, unfortunately.
That happens too.
But yeah, and Neko did break down a bit in grand finals there, but definitely his performance in this tourney, nothing to scoff at. Very,
Yeah, that was definitely
very
pretty
strong
impressive
play.
from both players.
Yeah, very, very intense sets, very close sets here as well. So yeah, I mean, DOREMY also said in the chat room insane sets this tourney, and definitely gotta agree, very intense. Very well played to both.